Cruise news time, and well, the devastation from Hurricane Ian continues to reveal itself, and unfortunately, Hurricane Ian is not done with what it's going to do. And I've got a couple stories for you that really are unsettling when it comes to travel and tourism, and I have a couple out there so disgruntled that they want a refund. Are they justified for a refund for what they call their cruise from hell? Cruise news and my views, let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views. It is September the 30th, 2022, a Friday, and we've got to start by talking about Hurricane Ian. Man, the devastation that storm wrought down on the southwest coast of Florida and through the state is almost too much to take in. I've seen so much on social media of people's lives completely upended, disrupted, property gone, houses floated out to sea, flooding, cars. It's unbelievable. There's too many cities to call out. But yeah, all of those coastline cities and then inland as that storm made its way through Florida, unimaginable. Now, there's a lot of folks that want to come to Florida and help. There's also people that have the inclination to donate money to Florida. Let me tell you the two official places that I've seen as talked about by the government here. I saw the governor of Florida talk about these two websites. Let me get the official names so I don't lead you astray. If you want to volunteer, if you want to do something with your time, your skills, you can go to volunteerflorida.org, volunteerflorida.org to do something. If you want to give something, the governor says don't give stuff. Give money. They got the stuff they need, but now they're going to need money to get more stuff. You can donate at floridadisasterfund.org if you are so inclined. floridadisasterfund.org. Those came from out of the governor's mouth, so hopefully that's a reputable place. But yeah, a lot of people that are trying to figure out what to do in the wake of this. And as I mentioned, Hurricane Ian is not done. It left the state of Florida. When it left the state of Florida, it was a tropical storm again, but once it hit the Atlantic, it got fired back up and became a hurricane, and now it's barreling down on the east coast of the United States, impacting several cruise ports. Mostly Carnival cruise ports. Carnival is doing a great job of keeping updates on their website at the very top of their website. So if you are cruising out of Charleston, Norfolk, if you're cruising out of Baltimore, make sure you're going to that Carnival website. They even have a number where you can get text updates. Let me give you the latest, and this is exactly from that website. This is a weather alert from Hurricane Ian. This will be updated again at 12 p.m. today on the 30th. This will probably be updated by the time you see this video. Right now, the Port of Tampa is closed. The Port of Jacksonville is closed. Port Canaveral is closed. Charleston is closed. And this is a big deal for those folks that are cruising on the Carnival Sunshine tomorrow, the 1st of October, 2022. They're saying don't come to the port right now. Stay up to date with what's going on. Get on the text message alerts. Follow this page to know whether or not you're supposed to go to the cruise port. Baltimore and Norfolk, it's still a wait-and-see game. Get on the text messages so you know whether or not you're supposed to go to the cruise port. Yeah, good job with Carnival. This is an easy update to find right there on the Carnival web page. Positive thoughts, and give where you can. Give where you felt led to give if you're so inclined. And yeah, it's going to take a while for Florida to recover from these storms. I do got to talk about something that really is annoying me. I've been doing pretty good about not addressing negative comments, but there's one type of negative comment that I really feel like I want to say something, because maybe this will hit the ears of somebody who tends to do this. There were a couple comments yesterday like, how could you be talking about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with all this devastation in Florida? Obviously, they did not track along with the show. And it bothers me because I feel like it's fake outrage. I feel like it is trolling, because if you really gave a crap about what was going on in Florida, if you really cared, what are you doing on YouTube trying to police YouTube videos? It is so obvious that you're just some troll loser, and that's the best comment that you have. That's the best way that you can help Florida, is to go and try to shame people for talking about something other than that. Look, it's very simple. Life is peaks and valleys, and what's wild when we're in this big connected world is the peaks and the valleys are happening all at the same time. And so it would be irresponsible of me just to deal with people that are in the valley and ignore the people that are in the peaks. I mean, I have a responsibility to connect with you guys and tell you about cruising as often as I can. And so I try to strike the balance, again, between those peaks and valleys. But I just put it out here, and I'm probably not even going to be talking to the people that I need to talk to. There's so many positive comments, that kind of thing. But man, people that want to try to police other content when they should be out doing something, like if you really cared about what was going on in Florida, you would do something other than sit around watching YouTube videos, making negative comments. I'm very disappointed. Okay, enough of that. It's off my chest. So I got to tell you about this crazy excursion story. I got to tell you about this cruise from hell where people are wanting a refund. But before I get there, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on these episodes. Thank you in advance. All right, the excursion story. We're talking about the Captain Cook Cruises Fiji Tour Company. They provide snorkeling experiences. That's one of the things that they do. Well, this gentleman, Barry Morris, 75-year-old dude, went on one of these snorkeling excursions, and they left him in the water. Like they left the scene and left the dude in the water. And they didn't even know about it till they got back to the dock, and the wife was like, "Where's my husband?" Now, fortunately for Barry, he was picked up by a fishing vessel, and they returned him to the cruise ship that he was on. But what? I was asked the other day, do I want to go snorkeling? This doesn't make me want to go snorkeling. Now, surely this is negligence or something, but it probably has nothing to do with snorkeling. But wait, it gets worse. This is the second time that they've done it recently. On a previous trip, the charter boat left 4 people in the water. They left a mother, her 18 and 20-year-old sons, and the dive master in the water. They forgot their own person. And they started swimming 20 kilometers back to shore before they were picked up by another vessel. I don't know how you make it to where this isn't going to happen. Like, I guess if I go on one of these snorkeling excursions, I'll be like, "My name is Tony, and please do not leave until I tell you my name again. Do not leave me in the water." That is a nightmare. That is like worst case scenario. That's one of the scariest things I think could happen to you, that you take a snorkeling excursion out to deeper water to where you can see some cooler stuff, and all of a sudden they just leave you there. I would be freaking out. I would hope that I would stay calm in the moment, but I would be freaking out in my mind for sure. Have you ever had this kind of experience where you've been left on some sort of excursion? Wow. But as challenging as that is, I may have a more challenging story. Let's talk about a couple whose once-in-a-lifetime cruise turned into a cruise from hell. 65th birthday cruise, cruising kind of on a luxury brand that was sold to them by MSC Cruises. This cruise was a cruise to the Mediterranean on the Sinfonia Aura Experience, which was supposed to leave from Venice on September the 10th. And this is one of those, but wait, there's more stories. It's one bad thing after another. This couple, they're going on their big celebration cruise. They're leaving from the UK. They're going to the Mediterranean. They have to catch the cruise in Venice. So the very first thing that goes wrong for them is they go to Heathrow Airport to take the plane to Venice, and the plane is oversold. And not only was the first flight that they were on to Venice oversold, also the second flight that they were put on to Venice was oversold, and they were not allowed to fly to Venice. They were in contact with MSC. It was determined that they would not be able to fly to Venice in time to get on the cruise ship. So a plan was hatched that they would fly from Heathrow to Dubrovnik, and they would join the cruise ship in Croatia. Now the challenge still continued in the airport because one of their bags was lost in the airport, so they spent 9 hours in the airport before they went to a hotel to stay the night, and then eventually they returned the next day to the airport and took a flight to Dubrovnik. Now you would hope that there would be a happy ending once the couple got to Dubrovnik. However, the cruise ship wasn't in Dubrovnik. It was docked in Kotor, which was about 3-4 hours from Dubrovnik, and so a taxi was arranged to take this couple to the cruise ship. But they weren't the only ones with the same challenge, so they got jammed into a taxi with a bunch of other people. So they were in a taxi. The gentleman describes that him and his wife had to basically share one seat with one of their bags on their lap, with their other bag jammed into the trunk of the taxi for a no air-conditioned, hot 3.5, 4-hour ride from Dubrovnik to Kotor. And now they got to Kotor before the cruise ship, and so they had to wait for the cruise ship to arrive. They handed their luggage over to shoreside luggage handlers while they waited for the cruise ship to arrive. The cruise ship arrived and they got on it. And remember, this is luxury cruising. Less than 1,000 cabins on this cruise ship, somewhat of a smaller cruise ship. But again, they finally got on the cruise ship. Their luggage made it to their room, and well, it had rained all day there in Kotor, and apparently their luggage was left out in the rain. And so their luggage was completely drenched. It was damaged on some level. All their clothes were wet. They talked to the cruise staff and they said, look, we can get your clothes dried. Just give us 48 hours. 2 days to dry their clothes. So they took some of their clothes, they laid it out on their cabin, out on their balcony, trying to get their clothes dried. And they went on trying to have a good cruise. Now, unfortunately, the gentleman in this couple, almost immediately after getting on the cruise ship, started feeling unwell. And he attributed it to what he felt like was an undercooked rib. He felt like he had mild food poisoning, but he did not feel well at all. But he toughed it out during the cruise. They got through the few days that were left in the cruise. They were supposed to dock back in Venice. However, when they approached Venice, they could not dock there because of high winds. They had to dock at a port an hour away, and eventually they were bused back to Venice, where he flew home. And then immediately, once he got home, he was still feeling really poor. He took a COVID test, and the guy has COVID. He got COVID. Yeah. Cruise from hell. Like, at every turn, something happened, and now they are demanding a refund from MSC for all of the trouble and for all of their stress, all of that kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, it's unfortunate series of events. MSC did offer them some money back, but it was minimal compared to what they paid, and so now they're putting their story out there to see if they can get a fuller refund. It's hard to say what's going to happen. The cruise companies, they write their contracts in a way where it's very hard to lay any kind of culpability on the cruise company. So we're all kind of in that boat. When we sign that cruise contract, we're basically signing up for whatever happens, which that could be good or bad, and that works out, I guess, in litigation, something like that. So I think the main reason I'm sharing this story with you is just to put it in your mind. The next time that you have a little bump in your cruise road, remember the couple who had trouble at every turn. Do you think they deserve some sort of money back from MSC? It sounds like MSC handled all the arrangements, the flights and all that. Do you think the couple deserves a refund, or do you think that's just the risk that you take when you go traveling? Hope you have travel insurance, that kind of thing. Leave a comment below. Thanks so much for checking out the show today. I sure hope you enjoyed it. You can do me a solid by hitting the like button. And unfortunately, if you don't hit the like button, I will be forced to punish you. And your punishment will be this: on your very next taxi ride or shuttle ride or Uber ride or bus ride, well, there won't be enough seats, and some random stranger will have to sit on your lap, and it won't be pleasant. So don't think about it as a pleasant way. You can avoid all of that by hitting the like button. And look, I thought I was the most unlucky cruiser. I did a video a while back chronicling all the weird stuff that happened to me on a cruise. Has any of these things happened to you? Watch this video next. This is Tony for Lido, Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido.